Oh, where's the boss?
I don't know.
Well, what should we do?
I don't know. Try pushing something.
How about this one?
That was nothing. Try another one.
Okay, how about this one?
Definitely not that one.
What does the START one do?
Try it and find out.
Hey, what are you guys doing? It was getting late, so we decided to try and get things going.
I didn't push anything.
Alright, enough. Let's get started, shall we? Hello, Minecrafters, and welcome to episode 1 of In Tune with Minecraft. In this episode, we will be starting our survival world for the series. For the ground rules of this series, please check out the previous video noted in the comments below. So, let's get started. And so, here we are at the title screen of Minecraft. Our choices are to create a single-player or multiplayer world, or to join a multiplayer or online Realms game session. But before we start, we need to know what type of world we are going to create, and to determine what settings we will use. For this world, we will be setting the difficulty level to hard.
Oh man, why does it have to be hard? I'll shut up and let the boss talk.
Oh yes, by the way, I have a few helpers on this adventure. The first is Rob.
Hello.
The second is Earl.
Why did he get to be first?
They will be assisting in the series with their various talents, which I will not get into now.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Anyway, the key is that we will be playing in survival mode on hard difficulty and with a random seed. The goals of the series are to share in the experience of playing survival Minecraft, explain how things work, learn together, move through the progression, and everything that can be done in the game.
Good luck with that.
So the first thing we need to do is, of course, decide which way we're going to go. And of course, we're going to be taking single player in this series. Now, single player is going to be a local file saved with our world. And as you can see, we've already got the test world we were just in here, some old worlds that I've had in the past. And you can also see the versions are a bit older. So if I were to go into them now, it would actually upgrade them to the latest version. But we are going to be creating a brand new world. So if we click on the Create a World button here, we'll get a world name box. So we're going to go ahead and put that in Tune with Minecraft. Next up, we have the game mode, and survival is of course the default. You could change that to hardcore just to give you a much more difficult experience. And as you can see, one life only. Creative, and back to survival again once more. Over on the difficulty, normal is the default. Hard is what we are going to be doing. Peaceful, no hostile mobs will spawn for the most part. And easy, a much easier experience. You still have some mobs threatening you, but everything is a bit easier. Mob health isn't as high, they don't do as much damage. And ultimately, a much nicer experience if you want to break in. However, we are going to be doing hard because there are special benefits, and I find it just much more preferable. Allow cheats off. Now, this one, normally, I would always leave off. However, for the sake of this series, because of things that we might want to show, we are going to simply go ahead and turn that on because I don't intend to take much advantage of that. But as you can see, there's certain game modes you can actually change to. Again, we're not planning on doing that for the most part, but there may be some special cases where I might need to bring in another account or who knows what. And I want to make sure that's on there so that we can give you the full scope of what's possible. Data packs are a way of actually allowing you to add different functionality. You can practically have a whole different mod to the game just by going into your data packs and adding something there. There are also resource packs as well that allow you to use different graphics for your skins of your character and so on. We're going to get into that much later down in the series. Right now, we're just using the defaults. Game rules. So we're going to leave all these at the defaults as well, but there's various different settings here that you can use to change your experience. And we go to more world options, where you have the option to change certain things like generating structures on or off. And we will, of course, leave that on. We want the entire experience. World type, we're going to use the default. Bonus chest, you can toggle that on and off. I definitely will keep that off. I'm not going to deal with import settings. However, one last thing I should note is you can actually enter a seed in here, and whatever number you put in here, or letters, you can actually put letters in here as well. The world would be created based on that, and you could create the same world over and over again based on that seed you entered. that also means that other people could experience the same seed, or you can experience the seed that they've experienced. We're not going to do that here. We're not going to do 404. Nope, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move on and allow the default to take us where it takes us. So without further ado, let's go ahead and create the new world.
Somewhere far beyond our home, there's a place where we can freely roam, not found inside of any tome. We'll make ourselves at home in a brand new world.
Okay, so we've started in a forest. That's not too bad. Now the first thing, oh, and it's even by a cave. The first thing I like to do in a new world is go ahead and dig some blocks around me and create myself a little pillar right there so that I can more easily find out where spawn is. And in fact, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and hit the F3 key here. And if you see on the right, we have a targeted block. That's what we're looking for. It's not a bad idea to log that position so that you can find this location more easily, but there's other ways. So the good news of starting here in a forest is we got lots of trees. It's not the greatest place to build a base, but hey, sometimes that's what you want. And certainly we have plenty of wood, so let's get right to it. The very first thing we want to do is start chopping trees. Well, unfortunately, we don't have an axe, so we're going to have to instead punch them. And there we go. You can see now we've got a new recipe unlocked by picking up that brand new item, which is an oak log. One of the things I like to do is actually clear the whole tree all the way to the top, but I leave the trunk at the bottom. The reason for this is I like to renew whatever I tear down. I like to leave things how they were. And oh, as you can see, we've already got an apple, so we've got food. That's one of the great things about oak trees, is that you can get apples and give you an initial source of food in the process. But I always like to leave the bottom stump so that I know exactly where the tree was, so that when I get a sapling, I can just replace that tree exactly where it needs to be. But yes, classic first day of Minecraft, punching trees and knocking out the wood. So it's good to get, maybe 10 blocks or so. That allows you to ultimately do the next step. So the next step is we're going to go into our inventory here, and we're going to take some of those logs. We're going to let's just put one in there for now. And now if we go ahead and click on the output here of the crafting area, we're going to get these 4 oak planks. If we put those in those slots, 1 each, we now have the option to make a crafting table. And now we've put a crafting table down here in our inventory. So the next step is if you click your crafting table into a spot in the world, you'll now place it. And this now allows you, instead of that little 2x2 crafting interface we had, we now have the biggest one for most crafting. This is where most of our work will be done, is on a crafting table with this 3x3 interface. Let's go ahead and put a couple more of these logs into the interface here. You can see we got oak planks. If we pull those out, we now have 8 planks. And as you can also see, we just now got an oak sapling. Now, if we go ahead and take some of these planks and we stack them like this, let's do a couple more, one on top of the other, you can see we're getting a recipe here for sticks. If we take those sticks out of there, now we've got 8 sticks. And then if we take those sticks and we put 2 in the middle here, and then 3 on top, we got ourselves our first pickaxe, which is a wooden pickaxe. It's very weak, but it's a great way to start. All right, let's go ahead and pick this up. And let's go ahead and remove this. We still don't have the right tool for the job. Technically, we could use that pickaxe, but it won't make much difference. We need an axe to do a better job on that. And I'm going to go ahead and place this sapling right here. Let's see if anything's happened over here. Unfortunately, I think this wood's a little too close. And this other tree is also a little too close. And so the leaves are not despawning. We can kind of help that along by punching them. And as you can see now, we've got ourselves another sapling. We'll drop that into place. Now we've done our duty of trying to repopulate the life around here. The next thing we're going to do is get ourselves some stone. Now, I don't know if I want to go into that cave. That's a little too deep and dark. So let's see what we've got over here. Looks like we got another cave, or at least a bit of an aquifer here near the surface. That's not bad, but look, there's a bit of a drop off here. Got some flowing waters. Let's go ahead and take this spot here, and we're going to go ahead and start digging into this wall. And as you can see, we've now got an advancement, the Stone Age. So if we go and pause the game, we go to advancements. You'll see here, right now we don't have anything but this one tab. It's not even a tab yet. It's the only place. But eventually we will get more tabs over here to look at the various different achievements that we've made throughout the game. The first one was just the start of the game. We've now earned the Stone Age. But the next thing we need to do is we need to get an upgrade by making a better pickaxe. In this case, it's a stone pickaxe. And following that, you'll notice acquire hardware. Once you get yourself an iron ingot, you can work towards even greater improvements. So right now we're digging what is currently stone, and if we do an F3, you can see that what we're aiming at on the targeted block is Minecraft stone. However, if you look down here, there's a different type of block. This is actually diorite. So we're going to focus on stone here because diorite doesn't make too many different things. You really need to have stone turned into cobblestone to craft most of the early game items you want to make here.
I got a pet rock once. Nobody cared about your pet rock.
21 sounds good. All right, let's go ahead and leave our little cave here, and hopefully nothing spawns when I walk away. There's our start point, and it looks like we've got some more saplings. Excellent. So let's go ahead and get our crafting table out. We'll place it down here, and we're going to make ourselves a few more planks and more sticks. But we're not going to make any more wood tools because that's just too weak. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and place sticks, and we're going to go across the top here. If we just drag with a right click, you can actually leave behind the exact number of blocks you need in that row. And we're going to grab ourselves a stone pickaxe. Let's go ahead and put that over here for now, because we might need it later. There's certain things that wooden pickaxes can't mine, so we'll need this stone pickaxe at some point. Next up, let's do a shovel. 2 sticks vertically, with a single cobblestone on top, and that gives us a stone shovel. Now we're going to be able to protect ourselves, because we're going to put 1 stick down here, 2 in a row, and we get ourselves a sword. And finally, we're going to go ahead and put 3 across here in this configuration, and we're going to put 2 sticks, and now you can see we have an axe. However, I want to point out one thing. This recipe actually would work even if we were in this position here. However, will it work if we do this? Yes, it will. So there are certain recipes that you can do in different directions. And the best tool actually to mine the workbench is, in fact, the axe. And part of that is because the workbench is made out of wood. Now you can see that that sapling that we planted has actually grown. Trees will grow if there's enough light. And so we've now allowed ourselves to have a renewable resource just by simply replanting that particular tree with a new sapling. So now we're going to go ahead and do a birch tree. This gives us birch logs, a different type of wood. So there's a number of different types of wood in Minecraft, and that allows you to do all sorts of different styles. And I think I just messed up, didn't I? Because I didn't wait for the sapling to drop. But that'll happen soon enough. Okay, so now we've got ourselves a birch sapling. We'll go ahead and place that down. Another thing we can look for are sheep. If we can find any sheep in the area, namely 3 of them, that would make our life a whole lot better. It seems pretty quiet around here. Well, we do have pigs. That could be a source of food right there. But I'm more interested in sheep. I've got an apple, and I might get some more before this day is done. Oh, this day is almost done. There's one right there. Axes can also be used as weapons, just like swords. But they're actually more effective, and you saw we took that sheep down in 1 hit. Let's go after this one. We got him as well. But taking them down this way is only going to get us 1 single wool block. So we're really lucky. We got 3 sheep, 3 wool blocks, but we also have less sheep in the area. We got to start turning our mind now to how we're going to spend our nights. Because we've got 3 wool, we're in great shape. 3 wool there, 3 planks on the bottom, and we get ourselves a bed. We'll place the bed down, we'll right-click on it, and we'll go to sleep. Hopefully before any mobs have spawned. Now we can just go ahead and lift that up, and it's in our inventory for later use. Also note that from those sheep, we got ourselves some raw mutton, so we do have some food. Let's go ahead and resume chopping trees and collecting apples whenever we see them as well.
Oh, it's cold outside. I need a place to hide where it is warm inside from the chill. I need some wood to build. I need some logs to burn. I see some trees nearby on the hill. And so it's chop, 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 till you drop, drop, drop. You just can't stop, stop, stop until you're done. Cut, cut, cut to build your hut, hut, hut. It's such a rut, rut, rut. It's just no fun. And so I made an axe so I could take some hacks so I could make some cracks and some bowls. I will put on my coat, I will pull up my boots, I must go in the woods to the knolls. And so it's chop, 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 till you drop, drop, drop. You're just gonna stop, stop, stop until you're done. Cut, cut, cut to build your hut, hut, hut. It's such a rut, 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 it's just no fun.
Day 3.
And so I think we're going to do something in this world that I've never done before. Several things, actually. One of those is we're going to use this spawn area as just a temporary base. We're going to set up a little shack here, and therefore, if ever we die and we don't have a proper spawn point set, we'll actually end up right here at this location, and we will stock it up with various bits of food, stone, various supplies that we can use to help us get ourselves back to our home base in one piece and get our equipment back up and running. So in order to do that, we're going to need to have a more reliable source of food than what we've found so far. And to do that, the best thing to do is get yourself some seeds. Now let's see, do we have any yet? No, we have lots of wood, we have lots of saplings, but we have no seeds so far. The way you get seeds is just to break grass. Now, perhaps the best place to do this would be in the plains biome. There happens to be one nearby, so maybe we're going to do a little bit of exploring. It's a little risky, going a little far afield. There's some seeds. So you can see what just plopped over here? Wheat seeds. So as you can see over here, we start heading out of the forest and into a river. Whoa, my, that squid scared me. But don't worry, squids are passive, they won't hurt you. And look at that. There's a hut over there. That means we've got a village nearby. It's nice to actually see the world around us a bit more, but we're not going to explore it too much. We just wanted to get those seeds. And here's another thing we'd like to get. We don't really need this right now, but this will be handy later. And I'm a glutton for punishment. I like to just take one, but by all means, take as many as you need. In this case, what we just hit was sugarcane. However, we have a bit of a problem right now, and that problem is we actually don't have a way to get water up here to have our farm near our home. So what we're going to have to do for now is settle with finding a bit of water down low here and taking advantage of that. And we just so happen to have this aquifer down here that can suit our needs. But we're going to have to modify things a bit. Let's just check real quick. I saw some more water over here. Yeah, there's definitely some good steady water down there, but there's also this huge cave and a bit of an aquifer inside. Wow, it must go pretty deep because I can even see a magma block way down there. We're not ready to explore deep caves just yet. What we're going to go ahead and do is get down here, use our shovel this time, and try to make sure we still have a way to get back up. Now we've got our stairs and one more. There we go. And we'll actually place some of our own blocks down here. It's also advisable to have building blocks on you at all times. And dirt, stone, and cobblestone are great resources to use. So let's go ahead and get to it. We're missing one important thing, is the tool that we're going to need for this job. So let's go ahead and place down our workbench. And we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to use the crafting book this time. So if you hit the crafting book there, it'll expand out this extra section here. And there's various tabs that allow you to see various recipes that you've already unlocked based on the materials that you have. However, you can actually make the recipes if you already know what they are. And now if we change this to craftable, however, it's actually going to tell us everything that we can make right now. And what we're trying to make right now is the hoe. We're going to go ahead and take a stone hoe here and take that down to our inventory. And we're going to right click on the ground where there's water nearby. As long as it's within 4 blocks of a water source, we can actually make ourselves some farmland. Except you got to be careful not to jump up and down on it, or you'll actually break the farmland. Then we'll take our seeds and plant them. And now you can see we've received another advancement, a CD place. Let's go ahead and check and see what that's done for us. So we've already got the getting an upgrade here, and we see a few more advancements have been added after that. However, we also have opened up several more tabs. We've got the adventure tab over here. And have we got any achievements on this one yet? There it is. The Sleeping in a Bed, Sweet Dreams. And that's probably what opened this tab up right there. We kind of skipped ahead a bit. But there's all sorts of achievements here that'll help drive you to doing the various things in the game that are very helpful. These are not necessarily so much helpful in advancement. They're just achievements to tick off a list and say, wow, yeah, I did that. And then what we just clicked off now is the Husbandry tab. We haven't actually clicked off the base yet, but because we've planted a seed, we've qualified for this ACD place item here. And there's a few more achievements here that we can do, including eating everything that is edible, even if it's not good for you. However, we have not yet gotten hungry, so we don't need that just yet. So we got that farm started. Let's go ahead and get back to plotting out how we're going to build this initial shack. So what I'm thinking here is we're going to go ahead and build our initial mine shaft from this location and put it underneath our shack. Now, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. This is just our home starting base. But with any kind of build, you usually are going to need to terraform the environment a little bit. This tree right here, for example, is in the way. We need to remove it. That tree might be okay. We'll see. But let's go ahead and take these two down as well. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our shovel and we're going to flatten this land a little bit here.
Day 4.
And it seems this tree is giving us a little trouble here, keeping all these leaves alive. Whenever there's a log that's nearby leaves, they just keep them going. So, whoops. So if you want to clear out an area, sometimes you need to clear out a number of additional trees just to get things set up the way you want it. Okay, so now we've got a reasonable area laid out here. I think now it's time to plan our foundation, and we're just going to use wood planks for this.
Hey, Earl, you want to know what I like to do after a long day of shoveling dirt?
Now,
Aw.
and as you can see now, our shovel has broken, so we're now going to have to once again create another tool, but we can always go to our handy dandy little recipe book here and make a brand new one. One thing also to note is even though we've dug out all this grass and left dirt behind, grass, if it's near enough, will actually start to expand down and beyond throughout the dirt and turn it all into grass blocks once again. You can see from the side texture, these blocks are dirt blocks with the grass surface on top, but it'll continue spreading throughout at a fairly good rate as long as there's adequate enough light. So now that we've dug out our area for a foundation, well, we need to get ourselves some planks. So let's go ahead and throw in some of these logs and just make a whole bunch of planks. Bring them into our inventory here. And let's start placing our floor. And now that we have a foundation, the next thing is to start putting up our walls. So we could do this any of a number of ways. We could use planks, or we could use logs themselves and make this a log cabin. Of course, that's a very expensive use of our resources. So it's all up to you what you really want to use. I think we're going to go ahead and use the planks in this case. But we have an option to use birch as well. Let's go ahead and turn those into planks, and let's see what we can do with those. So if we put the planks here on this end, we can see that at least there's a little bit of a contrast in the type of color we're using. However, we're going to end up running out of these planks pretty quickly. So we do need to keep that in mind. I'm just going to leave a space here for one block and keep building up our walls.
This pastry has a creamy, mushy center.
Just like your head.
And the door is actually 2 blocks high and 1 block wide. So unless we want to create a double door, we're just going to go ahead and top that off there. And I think we've just about run out of birch planks, but we've got enough to fill that out. Now we need to have a roof. And one of the best ways to do a roof is ironically to use stairs. Let's go ahead and take advantage now that we've got our floor in place here and get a permanent place for this crafting table put down. So there we go. We've got our crafting table down here in the corner. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take these planks and we're going to go ahead and put them in this little configuration here. Again, we could use a recipe, but that gets to be a hassle when you've got multiple types of wood. So we're going to use a different type of wood from what we used on the walls just to get a little contrast, make it a little more interesting. So let's see, let's start on this side. Do we want that? We don't want that way. So we really need to aim down to the bottom of the block like so, to give us that little roof lip right there. Very good. You'll notice that we have this odd corner here. Had we just placed that one more block, it would have been just continuous like this. However, now that we have another block right next to it, we place one in between, Minecraft will actually readjust to make a piece that actually fits nice and evenly. So very handy that. And even if I were to place that block there, actually it looks like I did it at a certain angle and got it that way anyways. Once you place the block on the other side, it'll also do that as well. But you got to be careful because sometimes it might do something other than what you want. So be a little careful on that. Looks like this tree's going to have to go too because it's just keeping these leaves in our way. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Or at least we can get rid of that branch. However, I realized an error in my design here. As much as I wanted to show off that corner, I don't want that type of roof. So what we're going to do is just more of a traditional roof. It'll meet just from one side to the other here.
Day 5.
Okay, so now we'll place our next block this way. And I'll repeat on this side. If we can aim just right, we can get this crafting table. Excellent. And make ourselves some more stairs. It's actually going to take quite a few stairs to finish off this roof, so maybe we should make some more. So now, this gets a little tricky right here. We could do this one of several ways. The roof itself, we're going to continue in between, but here, we need a solid block. We could use more of these planks, and I think that's what we're going to do, or we could use logs. Something to fill it in. Now, actually, what I'm seeing here is we do want this to stick out a little bit. So let's go ahead and place one on either end here. Make this roof look a little better. In that case, we want to aim at the top here to make an upside down stair so that we start creating the curve underneath. So once again, we'll aim for the top of that block to make an upside down block, giving ourselves another flat surface now to build upon as well. And we're going to do the same all along here. So now you're also going to have that angled roof inside as well as out. Place our birch planks, but only 3 wide this time. And it's only going to be 1 here to top it off. We had just enough to make the job get done just right. However, I see a problem here. The problem is when it gets enclosed here, we're going to be keeping out most of the light and allowing mobs to spawn. So an issue has arisen and we need to address that right now. So let's go ahead and find ourselves some more stone because I am down to just about 6 cobblestone if I recall. Yes, and that's not enough. I need a couple more. In the meantime, we can also go check how our little farm is doing down here. Because we've been nearby in the area, it's had a chance to advance, and you can see one of them is actually fully grown. Of course, it can be hard sometimes to tell when it's at the highest level. But if you use your little debug screen here, you can see that at the target block area, 2 lines down, you can see the age. So age 4 for that one, age 3. But this one's at age 7. And for wheat, that is the highest age. And so we'll go ahead and we'll left click on that. And the wheat actually spit out a little further. But we got ourselves 1 wheat and 3 seeds, which is great because most of the time you're going to get more than you put out. So now we've got a few more plants planted there. Let's see if we can find ourselves some more stone. I hear a skeleton somewhere around here nearby. That's not good. There he is. Now if we can get away. Because we took some damage there, we're going to have to eat to get our hunger bar back up and then start healing. However, an apple's only good for about 2 points of hunger, so that's a bit of a problem. Let's see if it heals all the way. Nope. See, now our hunger bar has now taken a bit of a hit. Let's go back to the original mining place here to get our stone. There we go. And since I didn't quite heal all the way with that single apple, I'm going to have to go ahead and use another one. Thankfully, we can eat apples right away. So now, what we're going to do with those 8 cobblestone is we're going to run them around here in a square with the empty space in the middle, and that will make us a furnace. Now we have our first furnace. We'll place that down. And unfortunately, we lack any coal to use as fuel, but there are other things you can use as fuel. This is actually where you put the items that you're going to smelt in the furnace or cook, whatever they may be. And you can use sticks as a very basic fuel. 2 sticks will actually cook 1 item. Not the most efficient item, but great for the start of the game. And by cooking a log, we end up with charcoal. Again, not very efficient, but this is a much more efficient type of fuel because that'll actually give us 8 actions. While we're waiting for that to cook, let's go ahead and make ourselves some chests. So if we go ahead and make a loop here, the same recipe that we did for the furnace also applies to chests. You go around once and you'll get yourself a chest. We can pull that out, but we're going to make 2 of them. And pop that out. So now, if you put a chest down, a single chest, and then go into it, you'll see you have this inventory that's 9 blocks across and 3 blocks deep. However, if we put another chest immediately next to it, it actually forms a double chest and doubles our overall space. This now gives us some place to actually stash away some of these extra items so that our inventory doesn't overflow. And the furnace is nearly done. Like I said, 8 actions for that 1 piece of charcoal now gives us a little bit more to work with. So let's see, we got 32, 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 times 4 is 32. We're just going to cook up the rest of that. So the next thing we're going to do here is make some torches. Now I want to make sure I leave 1 piece of charcoal available, so we're just going to do 3 recipes for the moment. Pop that out, and now we have ourselves 12 torches to work with. Now we can get some lighting in here. Let's go ahead and put a torch there and a torch there. 1 more there, 1 more there. And let's place our bed down. How about right here? Because night is about to fall.
Ooh, shiny.
There we go. We've got light. Another thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and take these planks and we're going to make an oak door. Now, this recipe, 6 blocks like we just saw, actually gives us 3 doors, more than what we need right now. But that's fine. Let's go ahead and put that in place. And there we go. We've got ourselves an oak door. We can right-click it to open it, right-click to close it, and where you place it will affect various things. However, good little tip. You should try it in hard difficulty in particular where zombies can knock doors down. It's usually good practice to try and do something tricky, and that's aiming at one of these back walls or towards one of these back walls, because then that puts the door in this position. And what that does is if you look at the state of the targeted block, the oak door, you'll see that it says open false. So it thinks that the door is actually closed. Then when we click it there, it now says open true. This actually will fool mobs and villagers as well into thinking the door is open. It makes things a whole lot safer. It keeps you from losing doors. Just a good option to keep in mind. Okay, let's go ahead and take some of that charcoal and make ourselves a bunch of torches. And now we're going to have to make ourselves some more stairs, too.
Rob, you're a good friend and all,
Thanks.
but can you please stop kicking my foot?
Sorry.
But you know what? This still seems a bit strange. I think we can do a little better than this. Let's see what this looks like. Well, we definitely need to add some stairs down there in the bottom. Now, we've got a few problems here. This is getting really high, and I may have a hard time reaching that. But if I take advantage of the dirt that I have here, I can build an impromptu scaffolding and just get myself a little higher. Now, if we place this block just right, there it is, an upside-down stair, just to make that look a little better. Let's see how that looks. Not too bad. We got to do the same back here, but we're a little higher up, so we should be able to place it just right there. We go. You know, I'm not really happy with that. Let's go ahead and use some slabs on this. So there they are right there. So now what we'll do is we'll just place the slabs like this, and we might be able to do it from here. Now you notice it looks like one whole block, but we're actually putting it on half of each block area. In order to get that done, we're going to need 2 more slabs, so almost there. Yeah, that's a lot better. Still leaves a lot to be desired. There's no windows, but for the purposes of what we're doing here, this is just our emergency respawn location. Now, more likely than not, we're going to probably spawn on the roof or nearby, not inside, so this isn't really going to allow us to spawn right there in that spot. But that's okay. We should be able to find ourselves in a fairly safe spot. Even if it's dark out, nothing will probably spawn in the area unless we're too close to it, and other spawns have happened. We can hopefully get right into the building and get ourselves safe. Go to sleep, get ourselves restocked, and go to our base. Let's go ahead and put some torches on the outside to also light up the area. We'll do some on this side as well. Now, because we put bottom half slabs up here, we can't actually place torches here, but that's fine because stairs and slabs are considered non-full blocks, and therefore monsters will actually not spawn on them, so that's good. However, if we wanted to make the area safer, we could certainly put more torches in this area. Now, as of Minecraft 1.18, you just have to avoid getting to a block level of 0, whereas in previous versions, anything at 7 or less would actually allow monsters to spawn. So we should be fairly safe here. Okay, so we've got a bit more charcoal there. We need to cook the mutton. And let it burn. But I believe that's all the time we have left for this episode. So in conclusion, in the beginning, with nothing but hands, we harvested wood and readied the lands. We built a quaint shelter and gave it bright light to give us some safety from creatures of night. Although this is the end of the first episode, there will be many more to follow. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to stay in tune with Minecraft. We'll see you in the next episode.
Oh, it's cold outside. I need a place to hide where it is warm inside from the chill. I need some wood to build. I need some logs to burn. I see some trees nearby on the hill. And so it's chop, 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 till you drop, drop,